Welcome to today's episode of the Financial Pro Podcast. I am live from my new office, HQ, in Chelmsford, and I've been seeing a lot of you talking about, should I have an office, should I stay at home? I thought I'd share a little bit of an insight for you and a reason why, after being in the pandemic and having 12 months at home, I'm going back into an office to build my team. So a little bit of context, if you don't know already, in 2006 I went self-employed. In 2009, after being a mortgage broker on my dining room table, I got my very first office. This very office that we are now back in 2021. And I stayed in this office until 2015. Now, during the course of 2018, I'd downsized my team. I'd got a lot of people working remotely in Wales, in Scotland, in York, and only being in the office a couple of days a week. I thought, why do I need this? And then we got hit by a huge pandemic. And the pandemic, made me realize that I didn't need the office. It forced my hand. So when my lease on the premises that I had expired in the July of 2020, gosh, trying to get used to these dates is a nightmare, isn't it? When the lease expired in July of 2020, I made the decision to not have an office, to move into a home office, and my brother-in-law built me a 20-foot by 12-foot garden room that I've basically been in. Now, there was a huge need to have an office, so actually in the September, I rented an office underneath the management of Andrew, who's been with me for a couple of years. Under his guidance, we've had a team of 7 in Evesham, 3.5 hours away from where I live, and we built a team of 8 there, 2 Kickstarters, we had a couple of apprentices, and we had a couple of insurance advisor, Andrew, and one other. And the realization that both Andrew and I have had is the fact it's so difficult to build a team and implement an entrepreneur's ideas, i.e. mine, when you can't just sit around a table, you can't just spitball ideas, you can't just go into a meeting room and brainstorm. Zoom is great, Teams is great, whatever your online internet conversational tool is, but actually sitting around a table is highly, highly valuable. So as we now are at the point where the doors are starting to open up as a result of the pandemic, I've made the decision that I would go back into an office to implement at the speed in which we need to be able to build a team, to build out the teams that I want to, lead team, bookings team as we're now calling them, bookings team, engagement team, admin team, accounts team, to manage all of the 5 businesses that are now part of my journey. There's no point in having multiple different places and multiple different people. Andrew's role is changing from operations manager, realizing his key skill set and core things that he enjoys. He's moving into a business development role. And this starts a new chapter on the 13th of July 2021 where we move forward with Chelmsford HQ. So I've been recruiting over the last couple of months using a lot of personality profiling tools. I've been having a couple of people on my team doing interviews with me to find an operations manager to run the day-to-day. Now, the key skill that I've been looking for is someone who is able to build a team, has managed multiple people, someone who has got kind of integrator skills, more like a project manager, being able to spin many different plates and understand what's going on at any given time in multiple different areas. Now, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, the thing that I never realized in my first 10 years up until 2015 is if you are someone who has lots of different ideas, you are the architect. You see this vision inside your brain of what you want your business, your life, and the people around you to look like, not in a physical looking sense, but in terms of where the departments are and how it's all structured out. As an entrepreneur and a business owner and someone who's a visionary with lots of different ideas, it's really difficult, and generally you're crap at being a good manager of people, because you're constantly thinking big picture. And this is something I've seen multiple different times in conversations with my mentors and big business owners that I know. So the idea is I am the architect. I see the visual, the picture, the design, very focused on big picture, focusing on big projects, but we need someone on a day-to-day who is the project manager. You look at the process of building a house, you have the foundations going in, you have the electrician, you have the plasterer, you have the roofer, you have the interiors, you have anything and everything that goes on when building a property. And you have someone who's overseeing that, making sure that everything is on time, everything is being implemented, so that at the end of it you end up with a house that someone can move into and live in. That's how you need to look at this process and how you need to look at the journey of building your business. So this is super exciting to be back in the first office, one, that I had back in 2009. But secondly, to have a team, to be around a team. Being at home has been fantastic. I've seen my kids, I've readjusted my life. I know that I won't be based here all the time because there's no need for me to be based here all the time because I'm focusing on big picture. That's the beauty of having a team. But what it means is if I need to come and implement stuff or we need to build, then I can come and sit down at a table with Jack, the operations manager. We can go through things, we can come up with ideas, we can recruit, we can build the 8 teams that I want to have to help us become the #1 broker in the UK for self-employed individuals. We can implement the marketing, the strategy, the systems, the processes, the automations, the sales. We can measure, monitor and manage our advisors from here. We've got a base where they're all coming down for system training because I've been developing a system since January of 2021 that is like no other. You know, I'm a huge fan of systems, processes and automation, speeds and efficiency. I've had eKeeper since the October of 2018. It's got us to 20 people, but it's not going to get us to 40, 50 or 100. So I've been developing a bespoke CRM where everything is changed or implemented at the touch of a button within a matter of days. Costs more money, but that ROI that we get from that investment is going to be huge. I've also been working on a massive rebrand since January of 2021, a 75-page website with more than 248 keywords that we're going to be rebranding from Active Mortgage to Active Financial. Has a heavy SEO foundation, and then we're going to be running multiple different advertising campaigns as well as lots of different marketing activities that I'm going to be doing on this next phase of Active to really help us grow and scale. So I'm going to be bringing you all of that information, all of that knowledge, because my mission has always been within Financial Pro to help you build a more profitable business, to attract your ideal client, to improve your processes, to make more sales, to streamline your business so you can do more of what you love with who you love. And I'm going to be bringing you the evolution of Active Financial during the course of our rebrand, sharing more about systems, processes and automations, how my advisors are all writing 6 figures and doing in excess of realistically 150,000 in their first 12 months written business because of attracting your ideal client, increasing sales, and also the important part, like I mentioned on last week's podcast episode, of increasing your customer sale value rather than constantly just fishing for new leads. The reason why we're rebranding from Active Mortgage to Active Financial is because we now focus on mortgages, insurance, commercial and wills. And that overarching umbrella of Active Financial gives us much bigger scope for growth. When you start hitting the 7 figures, you have to go through a rebrand, you have to go through a shift, and it's all about making sure that you continue to build a more profitable, more stable business for the future. So I hope this has inspired you. If you have any questions about whether you should be working from home or whether you should be working from office, you have to do what's right for you. I massively love working from home, but equally the social media content, the ideas, the implementation, the speed at which we can take action is going to be so different being in an office. You'll see behind me on the video here, I've always had desktops for my team, but I'm going to be changing that and getting everybody laptops should they want the option of being able to work from home. So we're going to be running, almost like hot desking, where you'll be able to sit anywhere, have a different environment, sit next to a different person during the course of the day, and giving that freedom and that autonomy to have the best of both worlds, working from home whilst having the ability to build a culture, build a team, build an environment that's going to be active, fast-paced and enjoyable to actually be around other people. And maybe, who knows, at some point in the future there'll be some inappropriate touching. No, because that will be against HR. We won't be doing that. There might be some handshakes and fist bumps and chest bumps. I'm going to finish before I cock this up. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. All the best. Have a fantastic day. Remember, now's the time to become pro.